this video, I'm going to talk about 5 steps to get your dream body. I've been a personal trainer for 4 years now. However, I have been going to the gym since I was 13 years old and I am now 30 years old. 13, going on 30. I'm not your standard PT that's going to make you go on a really restrictive diet because I've been through that myself and it's really not enjoyable and not sustainable. People focus on the quantity of the food that they're eating, but then don't focus on the quality. So stupid in my opinion, because the quality of the food is going to help you get the result that people usually want, and that's fat loss. Of course, having excess weight is not ideal in the long term, and being overweight is not healthy. So you should kind of want to do that for yourself, and that's what we're going to get into in this video. These are the fundamental steps that you need in the beginning of your journey, or even like some of these steps are something that I'm still adopting, especially when I'm traveling, because sometimes it is hard to get back into a routine when you visit different places. So I'm going to start with the biggest one that people struggle with, in my opinion, and that is food. I teach my clients how to intuitively eat, and this is not your standard calorie counting diet. It's learning to tune into your fullness and hunger cues, and also doing what's best for your body. So going for quality of food rather than quantity. For example, no one got fat eating a salad. Like, I'm not saying that I'm someone who consistently just eats salad all the time. Like, it's far from that, and fully encourage people to, enjoy their lives, but also look at where you're heavily relying on food that's got like absolutely no nutritional value, and why you're relying on that. Like, a big part of intuitive eating, getting to grips with or having awareness around your consumption habits. When you do that alone, your diet improves automatically, and it's not about being restrictive or stopping yourself enjoying them. Once you realize where you are relying on it and maybe why, like for example, one of my clients got upset because highlighted in areas to why she was excessively eating, and like it was a massive milestone for her, really, because she realized like it wasn't her fault. But that's my opinion. You realize that it's not your fault that you heavily rely on food for comfort, and it's not to say that I'm never ever going to do that, or you'll never ever do that, but it's just having the awareness and course correcting along the way. Intuitively eating helps this is because you actually eat the right amount of food that your body wants and needs. So like, I notice a difference. I've said this before, I notice a difference when I'm training a lot of jiu-jitsu. I end up having more food at each sitting, and maybe potentially an extra meal before bed, because I'm using all of that energy up. So that's why it's important to tune into your fullness and hunger cues. That's often where people overeat, because they're actually not eating enough for their energy needs, and then wonder why when they're really, really hungry, they probably eat something that's not in line with their values. So that's where it becomes a vicious cycle, because with calorie restriction, because you're reducing your calories, but then your body's telling you it's hungry, and then you wonder why you binge. So it's like, well, of course your body's gonna signal it wants food, because that's just a natural response. It's also about coming to terms with being okay with what you look like, with the weight that you sit at. People have this high expectation of a body image for themselves, but realistically that's not where you comfortably sit, where you're eating the right amount of food that your body needs. And this is just glorified from looking at people on the internet, and just females especially, just constantly thinking that we need to lose fat to feel worthy, when actually there's confident fat people out there, and worthiness is internal and comes from your inner confidence, and everyone has their flaws, of course. I don't even know where I've gone with this, but yeah, essentially intuitive eating is just eating when you're hungry, also eating until you're full, concentrating on the quality of food that you're eating, and also no snacking as well, because that also leads back to, not to say like don't snack. If you're super hungry and you're not going to get a meal till later, then that's fine, but like when you snack, it's like you haven't filled your body full, so then in an hours later it's going to be hungry again, and going to be like just reducing that potential for overeating, essentially, because your body's going to be super hungry, therefore it's going to increase need for food, and you're just going to eat whatever's in front of you. Because a lot of the time when I was calorie counting still, I would eat chocolate because it was just there, but then it was like, well, that's worse, because it's not like I could eat a full meal that has carbs like fruit and veg and protein, instead of like snacking on, I could eat more of that instead of snacking on chocolate all the time, which is is fucked if you ask me. But then also potentially just enjoy the chocolate after, rather than like and having chocolate for something just to cure the hunger pains. Like, it's wild. So yeah, for me personally, it's consistently always about quality over quantity, and getting to the bottom of why you're heavily relying on prep food. And also your environment plays into that as well. Like, what is your partner like? What is your family like? Because your environment influences it. And also alcohol as well. I'm not one to drink, so that's another thing that I don't do and adds a lot of calories per week. So I've blabbed on enough about food, and now the second one is training, and whether I highly recommend weight training, because one, you get sexy, and two, reduces injuries, and you can just move so much better. Like, it is, I know that it can be scary, but all you need is a simple gym program. All you need to do is go once per week and start to build that habit and get used to what you're doing. And you can do the same program, go in the gym and do the same program for 4 to 8 weeks. It can be really simple, and I highly recommend, we'll get into habits, but I highly recommend just going once per week and building that habit, remaining consistent with that, and then starting to go twice per week. If you're eating enough protein, if you're progressively overloading properly in the gym, which what I mean by that is increasing the weight every week, then you will start to see results in like 4 to 6 weeks. So yeah, gym training should be the main one, because it just makes you look sexy and you move way better. Like, if you're picking the kids up or picking shit up off the floor or walking up the stairs, just simple things like that. Like, it's not a struggle if you have a lot of muscle mass. And of course, in terms of diet as well, protein is super important for muscle growth, keeping you hungry. The only macro I'll ever get you to count is protein. Not even count it, because generally you can suss out that just have meat or chicken or protein shakes with most meals. So yeah, gym is very important. I could probably get into talking about females in the gym and getting started in the gym, but that's like a whole nother video. You have to let me know if you would like me to do a video on that. Oh yeah, if you need a simple gym program, then just let me know. Like, I've got some on my laptop, so if you want me to send you a gym program, just put it in the comments. Because yeah, like I say, do a gym program for 4 to 8 weeks, and it really doesn't have to be hard. It can be very simple. And then once, it's about making, we'll talk about this, but it's about making the goals just really simple and making it easy. Which leads me on to my third point about habits, about making it easy. If you haven't, I highly recommend Atomic Habits by James Clear. In one of the rules within the book is about making it super easy. It is really important. Beginners or people who are first starting out in their journey want to be this person that goes to the gym like 3 times per week, and that is really aiming high. Like, for example, the people that say in January, oh, I'm going to start going to the gym in January, and then maybe say they're going to go twice per week, or they're going to go every day after work, and then it doesn't end up sticking, because the resistance to doing the habit is just far greater than the motivation to do it, which we will also get into the next point. But it's all about making it easy. So literally go to the gym once per week, same time, same day, even as much as getting your stuff out ready to go to the gym. And especially for females, I did actually do a video on female training, but it's a little bit old now. However, just go to the gym same time, same day, every single week, of course, unless like it's day one. However, just go and even do something rather than nothing, and then it's still creating that habit and the identity that you are someone who goes to the gym consistently. And number 4, these are kind of interlinked, but I wanted to go a little bit into more depth with them. Number 4 is motivation, because you don't really need anything else if you're motivated towards it. What is motivation? Like, I want to feel motivated. That just means you want to feel positive emotions towards the action that you want to take. This is why I always advocate with my clients for these things being a form of self-care. Like, it is really, because who's the person that's benefiting from eating well, training in the gym? You look fit. Number 1, you get your dream body, and number 2, your body actually feels healthy. Like, that is what's best for your body. Our bodies don't feel good when they're literally laid on the sofa constantly, or sat at your desk all day eating crap all day. Like, it really doesn't make it. One of my all-inclusive holidays, I was the heaviest that I've ever been, and I was like, what have I done? Oh my god. That just goes to show your environment, and just completely losing yourself. So it's all about increasing the positive emotions towards getting the action. So you could set up a mood board on Pinterest and set as your wallpaper, or set reminders on your phone at the same time every day. Write in a feeling of how you're going to feel once you complete that action, maybe just before you're going to go to the gym, so that you can remind yourself how you're going to feel when you do the habit. It's going to become something that creates a positive emotion, rather than, it's going to reduce the friction essentially. Instead of your mind saying, oh, I've got to go to the gym, I'm super tired after work, I've got to drive there, I've got to do this, you're going to think about the positive emotion. Like, for example, I'm going to feel so good in my body, I'm going to feel more confident, my clothes are going to fit better, I'm going to be able to wear that tight dress that I keep thinking about wearing at the weekend. Your mind is going to be more programmed to think of the consequences of not doing it and the results of doing it. People that are super motivated, that are like athletes, question like, how are they so motivated? And that's why these things are just habitual. People that don't even think about going to training sometimes. Like, I know that's true for me when I'm training jiu-jitsu. It's harder for me to actually say to myself, actually, do I need to not go to training to get some work done sometimes? Just a standard non-negotiable. And also people who have high standards for themselves are obviously you're going to want to live longer, you're going to want to move better, you're going to want to nourish your body so that your body's not lacking in nutrients, therefore not functioning properly. Like, and even sleep as well, not having my phone, going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time, like all of these things are essentially for you and your well-being. And then that also increases your energy and your mood. If you're well rested, you're well nourished, and you're exercising and you've got no aches and pains. So of course it can be hard, don't get me wrong, it is difficult to build habits because you're essentially changing the routine of what you normally do every day, and which can be very habitual because we're stuck in the same habits because it's what's comfortable. And number 5 is consistency, which kind of links in with the habits and motivation, but I wanted to emphasize this point because this is where you get results. And it doesn't matter if you failed or you skipped one session, it's not about shaming yourself, it's literally about getting back on it. Like I said before, depending on where you're at with your cycle, it's not about going and doing a session that's 100% all the time. And I'm not one to advocate for having 3 coffees and just pushing through and like pushing the body to extremes. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for pushing the body when you feel like you can. Take rest when you need to take rest, or go in and do a little bit of upper body if you haven't got the energy to do legs. It's all, especially with females, it's very much about adapting and doing what you can, because yes, maybe you're not feeling 100%, but it doesn't mean you have to go 100% and then you still turned up, which is confirming that you're someone who turns up for yourself. You're someone who still looks after your body no matter how you're feeling or how much energy you've got. And also then you're still making progress as well towards your goals and towards that dream body. You know, making these huge goals in the beginning in January, maybe thinking that you're going to go to the gym after every day at work, maybe just try and go once and start being consistent with that. And then when you're consistent with that, that's when you can build on it. Because I think people get so disheartened and burn the candles at both ends, trying to go 5 times per week and then that's the reason that they burn out. So it's more about making these small goals so that you remain consistent with that and then you start building on it. And it's not even to say that you should start in January, become this whole new person. It's a continual journey of growth. Nearly 2 years down the line, my client is still messaging me saying that she went on holiday, and I think the fresh environment just reminded her of the things that I taught her whilst intuitively eating, and she just felt a new sense of freedom, releasing guilt and shame when it comes to consumption of food. So it goes to show that's why I don't advocate for restrictive diets, excessively exercising, because it's not sustainable. I'm a PT who influences you to intuitively eat, enjoy the food that you're eating, and training well. Weight training, practicing yoga, going with the flow of your cycle, because that's when you feel best. You don't feel best when you're having 3 coffees, burning yourself out, excessively exercising, restricting your diet, and then like being hungry, then binge eating. Like, that is not something I'm an advocate for. We're the sensible girlies over here that really enjoy their food, want to nourish your body and do it for the fact of self-care. Starving yourself and restricting yourself and pushing your body when it wants to rest is not something that I'm an advocate for, because that isn't isn't really self-care in my opinion. Those are my 5 steps. So just to recap the 5 steps to your dream body. Number 1 is food, focusing on the quality of your food instead of the quantity, and getting to the root of maybe why you're overly relying on stuff that's processed. Not to say that you need to cut it out at all. Please enjoy an almond croissant or a pizza. Number 2, training in the gym. Highly recommend it because it makes you look sexy and you reduce injury. You can move so much better. You can carry the shopping bags in without it being a massive struggle. Look banging. Why wouldn't you? A simple training program. Message me if you need one. 3 is habits. Remaining consistent, not making your goals too big, making it easy for yourself. So don't make it difficult, otherwise you're not going to remain consistent, and highly recommend James Clear's book. Number 4, motivation. Being motivated simply means feeling positive emotions about the result of the action. So the more that you think about the result that you're going to get, the more you're going to want to do the action. So you can create like a mood board or put a reminder on your phone as to why you're going to the gym. And number 5 is consistency. That is doing the thing the same time, the same day, every single week. And that is where we get results. So not creating these huge goals and just knowing that it's a constant development, rather than just totally trying to transform your identity in like 1 month in January. There's other exercises like going for walks and stuff as well, but just highly recommend weight training as your main method of exercise. So you put all of those together and you will literally see results in 4 to 6 weeks. There's nothing better than cleaning up your diet, being motivated towards, and just generally looking after yourself, going on hot girl walks and going to the gym, feeling cute in your gym set. We will leave it here. If you have any questions about anything that I've said today, then just drop them in the comments below or message me. I'll be happy to help. Good luck with your dream body and let me know your results, because you're going to get back to me after 4 or 6 weeks.